How can I best protect my data? It's a key question that's going to determine how well you are able to recover. The answer starts with the Unitrends appliance. The Linux-based appliance is either going to be a physical or a virtual appliance, and it is the real workhorse when it comes to protecting your data. The appliance collects, encrypts, compresses, dedupes, and catalogs all of the backup so that you can ultimately recover individual files. Also, the appliance is going to be responsible for replicating either into the Unitrends cloud or into a third-party cloud to help you get that offsite copy. With the diversity and the complexity of the modern data center, method matters. The data needs to be protected the best way that it can. Unitrends is going to utilize an agent-based or an agentless strategy to protect a wide variety of operating systems and applications. We can utilize a agentless strategy to protect hypervisors such as Nutanix, VMware, and Hyper-V, where we use a snapshot-based backup to protect VMs. For physical and virtual systems, we can deploy the file or the image agent. And then for files that live on a NAS share, we have an agentless protocol to protect that data using an incremental forever strategy. When we look at things like SQL and Exchange, we can protect those using an application-specific agent to be able to protect those components. When we think about your ransomware survival kit, there's 5 pieces to it. You have to protect your data the right way. You have to use a secure platform. You have to detect your ransomware, test your backups, ultimately so that you can recover. So this is going to focus on how we're going to protect the data the right way, utilizing Unitrends appliance and the applied methods that are available to us. As I jump into the user interface for the Unitrends appliance, I'm going to go right into looking at the configuration and the protected assets. This is going to give me a list of everything that we're looking at on the environment. If we start with VMware, we simply add in the vCenter server, and then we see all of the systems that it manages. We can use an agentless protocol to be able to talk to vCenter and protect these VMs using a snapshot. Similarly, we can also utilize an agentless backup for the VMs on Hyper-V. We do install an agent on the Hyper-V host itself and then communicate with the individual VMs without using an agent. We have some flexibility when it comes to protecting VMs. We can also utilize an agent-based strategy to get there, utilizing our image agent. The image agent actually gives us some flexibility and more resiliency when we look at certain things such as utilizing Nutanix and Hyper-V. The image agent utilizes change block tracking just like the VMs do. It allows for a fast and efficient backup and recovery. But that image agent is going to allow us to recover files, search for files, and then do instant recovery back into the virtual environment as well as on the appliance. Just like we have the image agent, we also have the file agent, keeping in mind that the file agent still has uses and applications that make sense. A good example of this is if we had multiple domain controllers in the environment, we would utilize that file agent to protect those domain controllers. When we think about things like Nutanix, we're also going to add in that hypervisor and then use an agentless protocol to protect those individual VMs. Or we can use the image-based agent to do the same thing, which opens up the door for recovering on the appliance or utilizing DRaaS in the Unitrends cloud. NAS backups are very simple. We simply add in the NAS, utilize either NFS, CIFS, or NDMP protocols, and then we protect the data. When we use CIFS and NFS, it is an incremental forever strategy, which means that we have a shorter backup and restore time and use less overhead on the network and the appliance. The last component I want to look at is SQL, which is often in every environment that we come across. When we utilize the image agent to protect SQL, we get a file, folder, database, system level recovery capabilities, and we do it all from a single backup. That single backup is application aware and it truncates the logs. So it's a very efficient way to protect SQL. There are instances where it makes sense to utilize the SQL agent, where we can install the agent and then protect SQL at the database level, and in conjunction with that, do a file level backup of the operating system and the program files so that we can perform DR on the system. Adding in the assets into the Unitrends appliance just simply means adding them in and then supplying the information of how we connect to it and then adding it to the inventory. Once it is part of the inventory, we have a two-step wizard where we simply go in and create a backup job. We define what kind of job we want to use. We select which assets we want to include in the job and then pick the time as well as the options for that specific job. Once we've done that, we now have a protection strategy in place that will allow us to protect the data and ultimately recover it.